G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Without further ado, let's get into issue 11 of the Batman Tumbler and see how we're going for time. We may get into issue 12 as well. We'll see how we go. So without further ado, let's get to the bench. Okay guys, welcome to issue 11. Now what we're going to do is, I suppose we'll have a flick through the book. Bit more reading about the Batman Tumbler. That doesn't look too bad, does it? That's a nice look, that one. Obviously some more cartoon stuff as we're flicking through, more of it. And a little bit more there. And our step-by-step instruction for issue 11. The shock absorber rods and the left steering bar is what we're going to be working on in this issue. So here are our parts here, all of our parts there. And as we turn over the page, so yeah, there's going to be a fair bit to do on this one by the look of it. So all this we've got to do. Yes, quite a lot. And at the end of it all, we should be looking like this. But what I'll do is I'll get our parts ready, so we'll get stuck into our step-by-step in 1 and 2. Be back in a moment. Okay guys, got our parts ready, got the oil ready. As I'm not going to go on about plastic to metal, where I'm going to use oil, but I will explain the parts. Now what we got here is, these are metal parts here, and so as this is metal as well. So what it's asking us to do is place 2 shock absorbers rods, which are these 2, and the rod support, which is this, on your work surface as pictured in the book. So that's what we got there. Now using our screws, which are these here, those guys there, we're going to be putting the rods in place there, and then what we're going to be doing is screwing using our screws and just screwing it into the hole. So I'll go ahead and do that, and we'll do the same on that side as well, and we'll come back. Okay guys, there we have it. That's our step 1 and 2 done. So did use a bit of oil for the screws, just to help that guide it in easier. They're meant to be loose. So yeah, we'll see what step 3 is about, and we'll be right back. Okay guys, step 3 was about just the other side of our shock absorber, just telling us to put it on the other side. Now we're going to move on to step 4, which is basically putting our piece there. Then we're grabbing our arm support, which is this part here. It's metal, which has got to line up with this hole here. So that would go on the inside like that, making sure our little lug here is facing on the left hand side of me, like that, as shown. And then we've got this, they call it the pin. So that's going to go sliding through there. And then what we've got to do is, before that goes sliding through, we've got to grab our previous part. We've got to previous part there. So what we've got to do is line it up like that. Then what we've got to do, this is going to be a bit tricky. So what we've got to do is put this, making sure that this faces up like that. I've got to put once that's there, I've got to put the rod through and tighten that all up. But what we'll do is, so you know what I mean, is we'll go to the book. I'll bring the book over so you can see what I'm about there. As you can see there, we're going to get that ready, and this is the area we'll be working on there. So I'll get all that done and then we'll be right back. Okay guys, let's see if I can explain this a bit more better. So what we're going to do is, we've got this part that sits. We've got to make sure that this is on the outside. This doesn't go in here, it goes there, like so. Right, then what we're going to do is, once that's there, then we've got this part, a part before, that's got to go with, see that, see this sort of archway, this arch, this is going to be facing downwards and these are going to be facing upwards. So that so that's got to go into in between there, like so, in there. Then our rod would go through like so. Then once the rod goes all the way through the other side, we've got this part here that we've got to make sure that the left hand side faces outwards as well, like that. And then we can use our screw to screw that up, and it all should come together. Hopefully I'll explain that a little bit more better, but we'll have a look at the final fit as we go. Okay guys, now we've got that all done. As you can see through here, I explained before, the rod goes straight through there. This actually is meant to be facing upwards. I said before it's meant to be facing downwards, and as you can clearly see in our photo here, where that is meant to be facing. So like, I double checked that, but that was a little bit tricky, trying to hold all this together while you put in our screw the other side, our screw. So that is now all done, all screwed up. So yeah, looking quite good. So now we're going to go into our step 7. So we previously done our step 5 and step 6. So now we're going to go into our step 7 here, and as it looks like we're grabbing our flywall to be mounting this on. So we'll grab that part, and as you can see there, what we've got to do is these here, as I move that out the way, as you can see here, how they're clearly marked left. You see the four holes there for our screws to go in, and they've got to be, as you can see here, step 7 is positioning it onto the flywall. Then we're grabbing our screws and screwing it from behind the flywall plate. So I'll get that done, we'll see what that looks like. Okay guys, like I said before, used our screws to, oh boy, this thing is getting heavy, to screw it into there, our screws in those areas there, to make sure that that is all screwed in. And that, wow, that is that part done. So isn't it looking big? I'm quite surprised with this. I've done some die cast models before, and I have to say, I reckon this one's going to be my favorite. I reckon. So that's that step done and looking quite good. So what have we got? That's our steps 7 and 8 done now. So I'll turn over the page here. So I'll grab our parts for step 9 and we'll come back. Okay guys, we've got our part here. This is, it's saying for step 9, take the lower rod 11F, which is this, and install it into the shock absorber on the left side of the front bulkhead. So that's our part there that they are talking about there, this part here. I'm just wiggling around there, that part there. We're going to slide the shaft into the hole like so and put it on to our first one here, hole here. It's got a link onto that, so I'll just put that on there, and then with our screw, our RP screw, we'll be screwing it into there. So I'll go ahead and do that. Okay guys, now we've done this position here, so that's our shock absorber done. So that should actually slightly, as you can see there, see how it's moving. So that's done nice and good. And like I said, bits and pieces, I am using oil if it's going into metal, from plastic to metal. So if you're doing something like this, oil is your best friend here with the screws. So okay, so that's our step 9 and 10 done, because it just shows you to step 9 just shows you positioning of the rod. Step 10 is showing you where to put the screw in, and we're going to go on to step 11 now, and I'll grab the part for that. Okay guys, I'm holding this bit up here. We've got our piece here, this is our piece here. So now what we're going to be doing is, you see that hole there and this part here, what we're going to be doing is fitting this over here, and with our which screw, our RP screw, we're going to be screwing this into place, and then this would go, if we can grab it, into here like so. And then, whoops, I'm just trying to get you guys a more better look. Maybe we'll put that bit in first and then put that over there. Have a hold for me, yep. And then we'd be putting a screw in there and a screw in there, and that tightens that up. Okay guys, as you can see, that that's all joined up there with our RP screw there, and a screw down the bottom here was called the up screw. So 2 different screws there. So what we shall do then is place that back down, and that was our step 11 and 12 done. We'll move on to our step 13, which is got to do with this side. So I'll get the parts ready for it and we'll come back. Okay guys, so what we got here, if I move that across there, we'll be attaching our, now it says with the front bulkhead positioned as in the photo, and I've got it the right way around. Insert the end of the left steering bar, which is this, into the circle of the bulkhead hole and begin attaching it to the joint, which is saying 9C, using an AP screw. So AP screw both sides. So what I'll do is, it's got to come out through there and attach there, and then I'll just be using some AP screws to attach that. I'll be back. Okay guys, so that is our screws in. As you can see, one there. If I flip this over, we've got pieces that are flying, well, not flying everywhere, loose everywhere, but quite a good build. And there you can see our other screw there, and basically that is that part done. And basically that is it for issue 11. And I think that'll do for today. No, you know what I'm going to do? Just to give you some idea of the weight of this, I'm going to go and grab a pair of scales and weigh this, and you guys can see how much this actually weighs because it's quite heavy. Be back in a minute. Okay guys, I've put this on a sort of like a kitchen scale, and as you can see down the numbers down here, we're nearly at 1.5 kilos just in this part, so that gives you an indication of how heavy this actually is. But yeah, that's it for issue 11 guys, and we'll get stuck into issue 12 next week. Until then, bye for now.